Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Our major is Environmental Management and Sustainability, class EMSK6 in the International School of Thái Nguyên University. In the midterm test of the subject academic skills for higher education, our teacher, Associate Professor Dr. Hoàng Văn Phổ, he has given us the exercise to review and compare 7 book references in 2 weeks. And our content is 2 parts. The first one is summary of recommended textbook and reference. The second is comparing their similarities and difference. There are seven books we will review and comparisons. And the first one, let's start with summary. The first book is the Study Skills Handbook. It's brought by Stella Cowell. And the study skills needed for higher education ultimately only through the studying at in the level. And the study skill evolve and mature through practice, trial and error, feedback from others, and reflection as you move through the different stages of your courses. And this book have 13 chapters. And interestingly, at the end of each chapter of this book is have some review of knowledge. And the key aim is to help students can manage their own success. And is that this by encouraging you think and skills you have already and which you need both in when you are studying and in your working life. Providing resources to help you evaluate, reflect, and manage of learning. Suggestion on how to develop positive approaches and good study, understanding how learning, intelligence and memory work, and critical analytical thinking style. And the last is encouraging you to understand and succeed as a student. This book uses 7 approaches to learning. The first one is learning to be adventurous. Use many senses. Identify what attracts you. Active learning. Responsibility of your learning. Trust in your own intelligence and recognize your own learning preference. And the next book, other reviews, is academics handbook, skill handbook. Academic skills for higher education requires to learn, read, research, and write. About academic skills for students in higher education. Students will be found on each skill in each courses, like understanding English for academic purpose, reading skill, documenting skill, researching skill, making reasonable claim, and finding your voice. And the next part we will prepare for you.
And to continue our presentation, I will review the first book. It has named Reading Comprehension Traces in 20 minutes a day. And books is designed to help to improve reading skill and study in 20 minutes a day for 20 days. And we will start with the basics and move on to more complex and critical thinking strategies. And the most important thing to improve reading skill is become an active readers. And there are 3 steps for good reading: is to improve skim ahead and jump back. The second is unpack the text, and the last is make specific observations. And the authors of this book have sent the reader a meaningful message, like you end up forcing your own ideas on the author and then forming your own idea about it. And I want to repeat, the most important thing is become an active reader. You have to remember. And next is the first book is Study Skill Handbook. Is published by Hof University, and there are 12 chapters following the textbook, and the main purpose is provide you the academic skill. And you can improve, manage your times, balance the academic studies, and evaluate and identify the wide range of information resources, and reflect on academic study, and identify an appropriate action plan. And the next is the fifth book is Study Skill for Geography, Earth and Environmental Science students. And to be honest, it is the most interesting book that we have, because it relates the discipline and relates the field-based studies. And it's divided into 29 chapters with logically arranged contents, because it helps students to easier to link and memorize the contents. And the main purpose is clarifying some aspect of college life and learning, and to build the confidence to learn effectively. And the secret to college research to find the right combination of ideas, propose the research, learning, and enhance the confidence. And lastly, the strategy of this book is to make the connection between the practical skill and application. And lastly, if you want to be a successful student, you can learn how the university works. And lastly, we are going to continue our presentation.
Hello everyone, I will continue with the book, The Study Skill 2. This book includes the study skill for students at higher education, most of theory and practice exercise, and this includes 100 practice activities for practice and training skill, and each topic have 2 or 3 exercises. The content includes 5 main points. The first is time management, learning and goal setting. The second is develop learning style. The third is paraphrase and summarizing information. And the fourth is answering essay questions. And the last is supporting skill for students. This book is a general document, so I think that is suitable for students at the beginner in an academic environment. And the second book is scientific writing as thinking in what. This book is about the principle of thinking and writing, and as we know, the language of science convey logic and reasoning, and it is independent on the language that it happens to be expressed. And because of the good science could be a non-native English speaker, although they have all the tools to need to write well, they also may need some help eventually to tidy it up for publication in English language journals. So this book will provide skill and knowledge for scientists to think and write scientific paper. And this content includes skill about scientific writing, like fundamental of building the scientific article and use of statistics on a presentation of result. And next part, Phương will presentation.
we move on to comparing similarities and difference. We focus on 4 main books. The Study Skill Handbook by Stella, and Academic Skill for Higher Education Study Skill Handbook by Barbara. Reading Comprehension Success with some skills. Critical thinking focus on all of the book. Writing skill, research skill, time management is not mentioned as reading comprehension success. Making notes is not mentioned in academic skill for higher education. Reading skill referred to academic skill for higher education, and reading comprehension success. Dissertation skill talk about in the academic skill for higher education and study skill handbook by Barbara. The teamwork could be a study as the study skill handbook by Stella and the study skill handbook by Barbara. And the next is a comparison with the 4 book. Here is the 4 book, and the sets as the content and the form of 4 books. The first book, the Study Skill Handbook by Stella, with the content develop writing, past, project, dissertation, reports, and case studies. Memory skills, driving and exams. Planning your next move with the various forms such as drawing, tables, and mind map. Easy to understand an article. The second book, Academic Skill for Higher Education, with the content reading, improve your reading, researching, writing skill, strategy for success in expert. With the form, give many examples to understand the topic in abstraction. The third book, Study Skill Handbook by Barbara, with the content referencing and how to bibliography and plagiarism and examination skills. With the form, each chapter has a small frame summarize the main content. The final book, Reading Comprehension Success, with the content to start with reading basics and move on to complex and critical thinking strategy, with the form suggestion in each chapter. And the next meeting to be continued in our presentation.
So, okay, I will continue with compare 3 main skills on 4 books. The first is critical thinking, reading and writing skill. We will come with critical thinking. Critical thinking not have the similar, but it has a different way to talk about critical thinking. The first one is the Study Skill Handbook, written by Sala. It mentions how to important critical thinking. It may help students develop critical thinking skill. And it gives something for students clear session on critical thinking when reading and writing. And last one, identify critical and recursive writing. The next is academic skills for higher education. This book focuses on key example and analyze for students and empower many different approach to critical thinking. And the last book, Study Skill Handbook, written by Barbara. This is specific in this book. It reminds students reflecting on themselves, like awareness themselves on strength and weakness, and help students how to know become a learner reflection reflection. Next to reading skill just only mentioned in reading comprehension such as an academic skill for higher education. And the common similarity in two books. The first one is paying attention to reading, organize, take note when reading, asking questions for session reading, that supporting for critical thinking when you read exercise, and emphasize that student must become an active reader. And the difference of reading comprehensions, this book suggests for students how to get essential information, finding the main idea, finding vocabulary, different between facts and opinion of author, and the last one observation skills. And in academic skills for higher education, it has the different give a situation for better understand reading skill. With people who are different in reading skill, leads to many more field of reading skill in the exercise. Next to the last skill is writing. Okay, writing skill methods in three books. In three books have the similarity, such as reading the title or some requirement and analyze it before you read the exercise or assignment. And attention should be paid to reference in writing. And the similar of two books, that is SSS and TSSS, are learning how to examine assignment titles, develop or produce for writing essays and reports, planning for structuring essay and reports, and the last, complete the basic step in writing an assignment like writing the drafts or editing. And the same thing of ASSE book and SSS written by Barbara. That's the feedback on assignment, research, and benefit from constructive criticism from tutor and peers. And three books have the different. And in the TSS, the information not method. In the SSS, it identifies and evaluates the information sources. And in the ASSE book, gather data and use it for writing, and again how to arrange information to plan for writing. So okay, I just have compare three main skills in four books. That's the basic skill needed for any student. That's I repeat again. That is critical thinking skill, reading skill, and writing skill. And so thank you for your attention.